What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I'm going to do a series of videos on asking AI different questions. And today we're going to talk about the cost of living adjustment for 2026. And so in this video, I asked AI what they think the cost of living adjustment will be. So the Social Security increase for 2026. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. If you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. I want to show you what the current projection is, and this is coming from the Senior Citizens League, and they're projecting right now 2.7%. Okay, 2.7%. There are some other projections out there that are saying 2.8%. I personally think it will probably be 2.8% just based on the information that we're receiving from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So for the last few months, we've seen an increase. So the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, has increased gradually every month. And so in July, we saw the CPI and the CPIW as well increase just a little bit. In August, we also saw an increase. And so I'm thinking in September, we're going to see an increase. And that would mean that the cost of living adjustment would be adjusted from 2.7% up to 2.8%. And so that is my projection, but we will ask AI what they think COLA will be for 2026. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So on average, and this is important too, so for the average person receiving Social Security benefits, you're looking at about a $54 increase to your benefits, okay? Now, the information, we should get that announcement mid-October 2025, so let's hope this government shutdown doesn't impact that, but the government shutdown could impact that. If you want to know more about that, I did a video just the other day, and I'll have a link to that video at the end of this video. Okay, so just so you guys all understand, we're all on the same page. July, August, September, those are the 3 months that they're going to calculate for COLA for 2026. And right now we're looking at about 2.7%. What does AI think? That's what we're going to take a look at right now. So when it comes to AI, their projection is on the downside. So on the downside, if we're looking at that, that would mean that in September, we wouldn't see that large of an increase. So as I stated, in July, August, and September, CPI as well as the CPIW has increased slightly. Okay, right now, CPI is at 2.9%. And when it comes to CPIW for July, I believe it was like 2.7, close to 2.8%. And for August, it was 2.8%. And so if we're looking at a downside here, that would mean that in September, we're going to see a CPIW that's going to drop. It might drop to 2.6% or even 2.5%. And then when they average those 3 months, that's what the COLA will be for 2026. So that would be a downside. Now, we don't anticipate a downside only because looking at the last few months, we've seen it slightly increase every month. I don't see September being any different. And so that's why I'm thinking that when we're looking at 2.6%, that is probably not going to be COLA for 2026. Okay, so AI says here, base case, and I guess if you're looking at on average, this is what it would be, or the most likely scenario. Sometimes AI doesn't use the best words. And so they're saying 2.7%. Now, this goes along with what the Senior Citizens League is putting out, so 2.7%. That would mean that in September, we would see an increase, or we might see it about the same, right? We might see it 2.7% or 2.8%. And then when you average everything together, it'll be 2.7%. And so that's what AI is saying. The most likely scenario is going to be 2.7%. Now, the upside, AI is saying the upside would be 2.8%. And that would mean, and that would go along with the pattern that we're seeing, if we see an increase every month. So from July, there was an increase, to August, there was an increase, and then in September, also we see an increase, well, then it would be more likely that we would see this 2.8%. And that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the upside. I think the upside is what we're going to see, if not even higher, could be 2.9%. But that's just based on what we've been seeing the last few months. And so the projection right now from AI is that we're going to see an increase of about 2.7%. And so we'll have to see if that's true, and we'll be following this. So I'll make sure to let you guys know. Hopefully, fingers crossed, October 15th, we're going to get that information. So what will happen is the CPI, so the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they'll put out the CPIW numbers, and then the Social Security Administration will announce what COLA will look like for 2026. And they generally do it on the same day, so we'll probably hear all that information on October 15th. That is if we don't have a government shutdown. if we have a government shutdown, it can delay all of this, and it could be indefinite. We won't know when that information will come out because the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they won't be putting out information, so they won't be able to calculate September. So it's very important that we do not have a government shutdown.
Now officially shut down. This after federal funding lapsed at midnight, 12:01. Emily Wilkins was up at that hour. She joins us now with the latest from Washington. Good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. Well, the big question in D.C. right now is how long this shutdown is going to go. The Senate did try and fail to pass a short-term funding patch last night. But interestingly enough, 3 Democrats voted with Republicans to keep the government funded. And Senate Majority Leader John Thune, he's hoping to get more today when the Senate will hold another vote to end the shutdown this morning.
There are others out there, I think, who don't want to shut down the government, but are being put in a position by their leadership that ought to make all of them very uncomfortable.
Senator Catherine Cortez Masto was one of the Democrats to vote for the stopgap. She tweeted that she cannot support a costly shutdown that would hurt Nevada families and hand even more power to this reckless administration. She went on to say we need a bipartisan solution to address this impending healthcare crisis, but we should not be swapping the pain of one group of Americans for another. An estimated 750,000 federal workers are expected to be furloughed in this shutdown. And Trump did reiterate yesterday that he does plan to follow through on firing federal employees and potentially closing some programs. And so, guys, the question, I guess, now is how long it's going to go. And for the White House, what are their next moves going to be? Andrew?
What do you think is on offer? That's the question. Meaning, what would have to happen to either pull some Dems? What would be the sort of necessary ingredients at this point?
So, Andrew, one of the things that I was chatting with some of my sources on Capitol Hill about yesterday is that in a shutdown scenario, the pressure just absolutely increases. I mean, that line from we're going into a shutdown to we're in a shutdown, you have folks who aren't getting paid, you have a number of programs that have stopped. It's like 1,000 little switches all turn off at once. And some of those switches you don't recognize maybe in the first day or even the first week what it means for them to be off. But the longer you go, the more pain there is. That means there's going to be increasing amount of pressure on these Democrats to vote with Republicans, because that's the plan for GOP leadership. They're going to continue to put this bill on the floor. They're going to continue to have Democrats to vote, and they're going to continue to put some of these Democrats, especially those from, say, states that are a little bit more purple, a little bit more swing states, to continue to justify their decision in keeping the government closed while the amount of risk and impact continues to ratchet up. So I think for every day that passes is another day that more pressure is going to be put on Senate Democrats to try to find a way to get to yes, or to accept that they need to reopen up the government without having anything more than they currently have, which is just a verbal promise from Republicans that they will work with them on these tax credits.
And so I just wanted to mention that. So if you're watching this video and you see that there's a government shutdown, just understand that October 15th, that could be pushed back. So I just wanted to put that out there. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.